draw a tree or something, right? Go home and draw a tree and picture yourself in that tree as a fruit. And wherever you are in your level of credibility, know that the top 10 is at the top of that tree. And that the fruit that's the best tasting is the hardest to reach.
What's up, guys? This is Manny Talks. Welcome to another episode. Today we're talking how to start, build, and scale your business with a special guest. His name is Alex Pizzani. This guy has a story to tell. He's being able to build businesses on the thousands of people, teams on the thousands of people, has generated millions of dollars in revenue for these companies that he has worked with. And in the past few months, he's been building sales teams and helping companies build their sales infrastructure for literally over, 4 or 5 companies you've been working with?
Yeah.
Insane. So insane what this guy got to tell you and teach you about sales, marketing, and building teams internationally and nationally. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming, bro. Glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me, Manny. I love what you're doing here.
It's a pleasure to have you. We have story. We've met, when we both were doing network marketing.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, I know what you've done. I know a little bit about, your story and a little bit about your success in the industry. I want people to know, who is Alex Pizzani?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. Who is Alex Pizzani? No one's ever actually asked me that question before. Miami born and raised here in Miami, Florida. My mother is Cuban. My father is Peruvian. His father's Italian. So I like to tell my friends I'm like the United Nations.
Wow.
But I'm just I'm a regular homebody. I love to be with my family, my kids. I have 2 little kids. I have a beautiful wife, and I've been with her already now 11 years.
Beautiful.
So family for me is always first. I think because of my upbringing, I never really had a family around. So now that I'm an adult now and I have kids of my own and a wife, I'm really focused on that because I never had that family environment. So that's me first. First, I'm a family, I'm a father, I'm a dad. And then second, I'm a business owner. And I specialize in sales. I specialize in helping companies formulate a sales team, a sales process. That is my specialty. And that's who I am.
Awesome, man. Great to have you here. There's a lot to talk about. I know you got a lot of value to add and a lot of things I want to alert myself to actually get to know what you're doing, because we talked about this and I'm planning on building a sales team. So I got questions. Let's talk a little bit about, your story as an entrepreneur. Like, where does everything start? What's your first business?
Yeah.
What's your background?
That's great, man. You're asking some good questions, man.
Let's get it.
My background as an entrepreneur, it really started at the age of 16 years old.
Okay.
I didn't know at the time that I even wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know where I was going at all in life. It happened because life forced me in that direction. So 16 years old, my mom, at that time, I'm actually 15 years old. I'm going to Braddock High School here in Miami. And around 10th grade, my mom tells me, hey, Alex, we're going to move out of Miami. We're going to go up north to an area called Mangonia. I had never heard of Mangonia before.
Oh, first time I hear about that.
Yeah. it's a hood, and it's a hood next to West Palm Beach area.
Okay.
So when I went to the school, it was a sudden shift because in the school that I was at, it was like 90% Hispanics. Now I went to a school where I was the 1% Hispanic and 98% African American.
Food change.
So yeah, totally. I remember then going in the bus, and my first day in the bus, all the kids were already like, oh, what's up, Pablo? Like making fun of my name, calling me like Hispanic names, telling me I was Mexican, all kinds of stuff. I even had within the first week, a kid ended up robbing my phone. It was and trying to jump me. So it was crazy. They didn't like me at all. And I would tell my mom about it. I'm like, hey, you messed me up taking me out of the other school.
Yeah.
But whatever. I passed my FCATs. And then my mom was doing really bad with money at the time. We ended up moving at a place called Public Storage Warehouse where people store their things. And she got a job there to be the manager at a public storage warehouse where she got to live on the 2nd floor. And then at night, we would live in the apartment on the 2nd floor. So 1 bedroom was me, my sister, my brother, and her all there.
Wow.
And then she would work downstairs every night. So she was doing bad with money. My father wasn't around. And then she goes, hey, Alex, I need your help. I need you to get a job at Taco Bell so you can give me some of the money. So I didn't even think twice. It's my mom, of course. So now I'm going to high school, bad school, and then I leave school. And then Taco Bell at the time, or the manager at the time, I don't know, nothing against Taco Bell, but they didn't really respect the whole hourly thing of the laws here in America. So I would leave school and I would be there sometimes 12 or 1 in the morning. Then going
Right
to
after
school again. Yeah,
Wow.
then right after school. So even with all of that, it was amazing. But I still passed my FCAT, still passed my SATs. I had good grades all on my own. My mother never helped. And then the way I got into entrepreneur, I know it kind of deviated out of all of this, is because then my mother told me, after 1 month of working part-time, hey, Alex, I'm going to take you out of school. I'm going to take you out of school and put you full-time Taco Bell now. And when I said, what do you mean you're going to do that? She's like, well, I'm not going to do it. I already did it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm letting you know that right now because you're not going to go to school tomorrow. So I want to just tell you the news. It's good for you, right? It's what any kid would want. You know, you don't have to go to school now. And honestly, like I cried that day. Like I felt like a little bitch, you know? And I was like, I kind of saw my whole life like falling to pieces because of a decision that my mom did. And that night I cried and I was like, man, I'm not going to let my mom or anyone dictate my future, even my mother, you know? So at that moment, I was really mad and I said, I got to get out of here. So I looked for a military instructor, a military recruiter from the Army to come over to the house. And when he came over, my mom freaked out. Oh, you're not going to take my son away from me? I have to sign papers. He's not even 18. And I was like, if you do that, I promise you, I'll leave this house. I'll figure out a way, but I'm leaving. And then she goes, oh, no, you're not going to do that. I ended up leaving. She didn't let the guy try to get me to do stuff. But he also felt bad because he told me, Alex, you don't have a high school diploma. So I said, okay. So he told me, figure it out. Come back to me when you can talk, and I'll help you get to the specific school. You do 1 year with them, and you'll get a valid diploma because you already passed your FCAT, so you have credits. So I said, okay. I ended up moving away back down to Miami because my friend, coincidentally, while I was going through all this stuff with my mom, his mother passed away in a very tragic way. And he ended up having to live with his grandmother. So then it was him and his brother in his grandmother's house. And he tells me, Alex, I'm not going to school either, man. And I think my grandma will be okay with you if you come over and sleep in her house. And she wasn't. And he told me a lie. So I show up there on the tri-rail, leaving from Boynton Beach, Mangonia area, took the tri-rail on a hope that this was going to happen, have my backpack on. I'm not going to live with my mom now. I'm 16 years old. She doesn't even know it.
Wow.
And I just rode out. And when I get there to my friend's house, the grandma didn't know. And he's like, you got to come after 12. And I'm like, what do you mean after 12? He's like, I don't know. Figure it out. Walk around Publix or CVS. I ended up going there after 12 in the middle of the night. And then I ended up living there. And I would sleep there every night like that and sleep on the floor because we didn't have a bed. Him and his brother were sleeping in a twin bed. And they would put Savana blankets, comforters on the floor, and I would sleep like that. And I think the only thing that kept me from like not giving up on life or doing something bad is that every night I read the book at the time. Somebody recommended it to me called The Secret. And I read that book, and that book said something about, you know, just picturing things to make them a reality. I didn't know so much of what that meant, but I said, I know one thing. If I keep thinking about all the bad things, like all the misery, my mom dropping me out, the fact that I don't even have a home, I don't have a dad, I have nothing, I'm sleeping on the floor. If I think about all of that, how am I going to sleep? Like, what is going to be my dream if that's the last thought I have? I'm going to have a nightmare, or I'm just going to program myself to something negative every night because my environment's negative. So even though I was on the comforter, I would trick myself and say, I have something positive, I have something great. In that time frame, I had to figure out how to make money. So I got a job at CVS, and then it hit me one day to become an entrepreneur. And the way that happened was my sister ended up, her birthday came around, and my grandma hired a clown. And when my grandma hired a clown to show up to her party, I saw that guy earned $100 an hour. Now I'm living in Miami working at CVS for $7 an hour as a cashier, while I'm still going back to school to get my actual diploma while I'm living at my friend's house. I saw that. I'm like, man, I got to become a clown. $100 an hour.
Better than CVS.
An hour.
Yep.
So I told my grandma, can you make me an outfit? And she goes, what for? And she's like, oh, I'm going to be a clown. Quiero ser un payaso, abuela. So she goes, you're going to be a clown? Like, you're crazy. Don't do that. And I said,
this is what, 17 years old, 18 years old?
16.
Still 16. You're like back to back.
Yeah, but I couldn't live with my grandma. It was a long story. I couldn't go back there either. It was just very complicated. I was just trying to become a man and be independent. So she goes, buy me the material and I'll sew it for you. She did, and that was my first actual entrepreneur business. So I became Winky the Clown at 16 years old. She did an outfit for me, but I didn't know how to do balloons. I didn't even know how to be a clown. I didn't even know how to do face painting.
They pay more than a CVS. I'm going to just go do it.
And I didn't even know how to advertise. So the first thing back then, there was no Facebook. There was no Instagram. There was maybe MySpace at the time, just formulating. There was no nothing. So the only way I could figure out was, all right, let me go to the library. They have books in the library on balloons. Then I went to Party City. I bought me the little string balloons with a little manual pump.
Yeah.
And then I was literally in the library with a book looking at how to pump a balloon up and how to fold it into a dog or whatever. And that's how I learned how to do my animal shapes. When I started to learn how to face paint was because of a failure in my first party.
Mm-hmm.
And the way I got my first party was because I advertised on Craigslist. At the time was the only website you can post things up at.
Yeah.
And it hit me. You know what? I'm going to put that I'm a clown. But because I'm a clown for the first time, I can't charge $100 an hour like a real clown.
Started charging a little bit less.
So I'm going to charge half the price, $50 for an hour. And for my first party, when the guy calls me, I'm going to tell him $25 an hour just for experience. So my first party was in Alapata. I didn't know where Alapata was because I'm a Miami boy that was always living with grandma or the mom. So I never really drove around. I didn't know Alapata was the hood. I just said yes when I got the address.
Boom.
And I said, let me go. I show up to my first party, and that was the biggest learning lesson I had in entrepreneurship ever. It was the biggest failure, and for me, it was the biggest success. It was such a failure that I learned so much from it, and it elevated my business immediately from all the failure and the learning that I had from that first party. So I remember showing up. I remember getting me some paint that I bought at Michael's to paint my face.
The paint job.
And I didn't know, that some paint is good and some paint is bad. I just said, let me find the cheapest paint. And they had these little bottles for like 50 cents or 30 cents at the time. I bought like a bunch of colors. And then I practiced my face the night prior. And I said, oh, it looks amazing. I'm going to go tomorrow like this. When I showed up to the party, within 20, 30 minutes, kids were screaming. Ah! And I'm like, why are these kids screaming? Some of them were crying, like, don't even get up close to me. And then at one moment, I'm like dancing, and then I feel this sting in my eye because a drop of sweat fell in my eye. But it stings so much that I ran to the bathroom. And when I look, my eyes were red like if I was high on weed or something. All the paint that I had on my face was dripping down like if it was melting. My lips were painted red like Ronald McDonald, but the red was going down my neck like if it was blood. And then
all the kids, you scare all the kids in the party.
All the kids were freaking out. And then to make matters worse, I didn't have extra paint. So I didn't have extra paint. I'm there freaking out, trying to figure things out. I apologized to the owner. I just left my nose on. I tried to do whatever I could. The kids hit me. The kids ripped my nose off. The kids told me I wasn't a clown. I had to make sure I could keep them entertained. By the time the party was done, I leave and I tell the guy, hey, I know I said $50 at first. I'm just going to do $25 an hour. It was only 2 hours, so you just owe me $50. And he told me flat out, I'll never forget it. He said, get the F out of my face. I'm not going to give you shit after 2 hours of me working there. So it was like a knife to my heart. I was like, man, you're not going to do that to me. I'm a little kid. I'm just trying to make money. And now you're going to rob me of 2 hours of time, work, embarrassment, everything. I was sweating and I was like, nah. So I told him right there, I was like, I'm calling the police. And when he told me that, when I told him that, I walk away and then he punched me in the back of my head and I fell. And this is a grown man. So I thought he was going to kill me. I ran. I booked it. I got up and I ran to my car. And by the moment I got in the car, I'm calling the cops. When the cops show up, they then tell me, hey, the guy's saying that you were never even here. Not only that, everybody in the party says that there was no kid, that there was no clown there. Even the kids. He got everybody to say that that was never there. It was a lie.
For $50, bro.
$50. And the cop tells me, hey, I'm sorry, kid. I think the best thing you could do is file a civil court complaint, take him to court. And I was like, man, for $50, forget it.
Yeah.
But the cop told me something that I never forgot. He said, I'll give you a little tip of advice. If you ever do this again, make sure you get the money at the door before you do anything. And I was like, wow, that's so true. The next day I had someone call me. And when they called me, I was ready to give up. I was crying that day too. I was depressed, bro. Like I felt like I was an embarrassment. I'm there driving with painted, melted on my face, sweating like a pig. And then I was there for these kids falling on the floor and not even $1 for my gas, Yeah. So I was like, wow, like this is the perfect time for anybody to want to quit and never do clown business again. And all I was thinking about was how broke I was, and I had to make the money back on the paint and the costume and everything that I just put my little bits of dollars in. So I go, okay, I'm going to do another party, but next time when they call me, I'm the manager. Charge up front. Yeah, charge up front, but I'm the manager to Winky when they talk on the phone. I'm not Winky. So they call me, hey, I want to get a clown. Okay, cool. I'm his manager. I had to request that when he does show up, the clown is going to ask to have the money in cash at the door. If the money's not in cash at the door in an envelope, he's not going to enter your house. And I did that time and time again, and still there were many people that when I showed up to the house, they didn't have an envelope. So I would wave at the kids and then say, hey, I'll be waiting in my car until
Whenever
the cash
you have
is
the
here.
money ready,
And then I'll come
then-
in. And then the kids up, the clown's outside.
Yeah.
And that helped me, and it helped me grow that I never had anyone rob me from money again. That was the biggest lesson I learned. And I'm glad that was the first lesson I had, which was my first party. And then after that, I just learned how to make it better and bigger. And that's every business, it works the same way. I started figuring out, okay, if people are going to have a party, they're probably going to need chairs. So I started to look online to find busted old chairs that were broken.
To start like setting up the party and everything for them.
Fix them, and then I would rent them for $70. Then I bought me bounce houses that had holes también on Craigslist that people were throwing out, duct tape, and then painted the same color, and then throw it out there again if it inflated. And I looked at the competition, $150 a bounce house. Okay, cool. Mine will be $70. So because my prices were always cheaper than everyone else on Craigslist, my stuff was always rented. Then I found the guy with a monkey. I made a deal with him. Hey, if I got a monkey party, can we split? Hey, I found the guy with the ponies. Hey, can we split? I don't have the ponies.
You built an entire business out of this. I built
an entire business. I bought me a trailer. I eventually just moved out of my friend's house. I can afford my own efficiency. I bought me a truck. I bought me a trailer. I was still only 17.
Crazy.
I was already making $2,000 every weekend doing clown parties.
Wow.
Yeah, on a
17 years old, bro.
17 years old on a weekend. And then that's when my friends that laughed at me, oh, you're an effing
now
clown.
They wanted to work for you.
They're like, hey, bro, I see you're
Put
making
me
money.
on, huh?
Yeah, can I be a clown with you, man? Show me how to be a clown. And I thought it was funny because the same person telling me that they wanted me to be the clown with them, they were laughing at me that I was a clown. Like, man, I can't believe you have some balls to do that.
Yeah.
And then when they saw the money, they're like, hey, bro, I want to do that too.
I want to be a clown too now.
So I thought about that too. I'm like, fuck that.
That's insane, bro. 16 years old, you go through all of this, change the schools, dropping out. Not even you dropping out. It's like they force you to drop out.
Yeah, I was forced, yeah.
So that's insane. And
I actually got my diploma back too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, while I was still a clown, I got me a girlfriend. The girl was like, oh, you're always a clown on the weekends, whatever. Long story short, I got a job at the bank at 18 years old as a teller. So that was also my first entry into the banking world. And I just love the job. I'm like, oh, this is great. I don't have to be working fast food. Because mind you, even though I was a clown, I still wasn't stupid enough to quit my job. Even though my job at the time was only making me bi-weekly $400.
You still kept the job while you were building the business.
It was still a steady $400 that was no work at all. It was me ringing things up. So I'm like, it's $400. Why am I going to say no to that? I'm broke. Even though on a weekend, I would make $2,000. But I would just save my $2,000 to reinvest in my business.
Back into the business.
While the $400 and a little bit extra of my business money was for me to survive and pay bills. And that's how I kind of did it, to the point that I did the clown work. I stopped doing the clown work until I was 21.
Wow, so you did it for a few years, 3-4 years. That's crazy.
I did it for a few years. I actually ended up selling it to one of the clients at the bank.
No way. You sold the business?
Yeah, I sold the business. At that time, I already had even a portfolio
of clients,
of all the children's names, addresses, and birthdays.
Wow.
Yeah, and the way I built up the children's list even faster is I found 2 ways to market. I would go to every bakery in Miami, and I said, what's the first thing they got to do before they get a clown? They got to order the cake. So let me go to every bakery and... oh, I don't have a business card. How does a clown not have a business card? How am I going to let people know about my business? So every birthday party, I would then pass out a bunch of cards.
Let's go.
And then every bakery, I would stop by and sweet talk the lady. I would like, who's the manager here? Oh, it's this lady. Señora, lady, I'm a 16-year-old kid. My parents don't take care of me. I'm just trying to make it. I'm a clown. And I gave her my card. For any job you give me, I'll throw you $20. And she laughed. She's like, no, pero you don't have to give me nothing. I'll just give you the job. And I thought that was crazy, so I just kept saying that story to every lady, and they all wanted to help. So I started getting referrals from bakeries. Then I said, where are the children at? And then a guy that I was talking to at the bank, because I was still a banker, he tells me, Alex, I know one of the people here was making fun of it and mentioned that you were a clown. You know I'm an owner of a daycare. Come over to my daycare, and I'm going to show you all the kids. I have all their birthdays. I have the telephones of all the parents. I'll let you contact them. And I said, perfect, let's do it.
That's it.
That was it. After that, I had him, and then I had another guy that he introduced me to with 7 daycares. And that was it. It was game over.
That lead flow was boom, boom,
leads
boom,
are out
boom,
there.
boom.
Every business, there's a way to find a way to not go 1 + 1. There's a way to do 2 × 2. You just got to figure out how to now add and how to multiply. And there's always a way to multiply in business. You just got to think out of the box. And a lot of people don't stop and think, how can I get more? How is there a way to multiply this? And I had plenty of time to think because I was plenty broke and I was alone. I didn't have video games. A lot of kids, they were just on a lot of other things to be focused on. I couldn't focus on any of that stuff because
So all you were thinking is, how do I make more money? How do I grow the business?
how to make more money because I got to get a better car because I got to get out of this efficiency. Now I want an apartment. There was always something else, you know. I never had a plan B. I never had an emergency where I could say, Mom, can you lend me $50? I don't have gas.
Yeah.
So because of that,
it was all on you.
it was only me. I was my own parachute. I was my only source of, hey, if you don't step it up, you're going to be under a bridge.
And that's
next
what
month.
I feel. That's what happens to a lot of people as well. It's like they always have a backup plan. So it's like, yeah, if something goes wrong, I just, I have a backup plan. I go back to mom's house or I do this. And it's like when you don't have a backup plan, that's when you grow.
Yeah, that's 100%.
It's crazy. And you were all in your own. I relate a lot. Like, for example, Christian and myself, we talked about Christian. We always relate a lot to this and we compare each other because it's like, himself and I, we both take care of, our moms and our dads. Like,
awesome.
we take care of everybody.
Yeah.
So, and we were talking about this because, he went through a cycle. I literally told him in his face, we got no backup plan.
That's right.
There's nobody, like, waiting for us to give us a handout.
Yep.
If we don't make it, they don't eat. So we got to step it up.
Yep.
And that's a conversation that we had because it's like, yo, they're counting on us.
Yep.
So I relate to what you said because when you're on your own, it's like, this is it.
Yeah.
All I got is myself.
Yeah, and I think now as I'm older, it's even more of a weight because now it's like my kids
not just
need
you.
me. My wife needs me. Like now it's even on another level, you know.
Yep,
Like, now it's like I gotta make sure everything I hated when I was a kid, I can't duplicate that now. I gotta make sure everything that I wanted, I can at least. I have like a. I felt like when I had children, it was like I hit the reset button in a video game system, and I said, okay, I can make this story the way I want it to, but I gotta work my ass off to make this story the way I want it to. If I'm just lazy and I let life control me and take me with the wind, then I'm gonna be just like my parents again.
Like, yeah, it just repeats the cycle all over again. So you're doing the clown business. You start, a job at the bank, as a teller, and you sell the business. You decide to sell the business to one of the clients in there at the bank. You said
Yes.
So what happens there? Why do you sell that business? Do you like the job at the bank? Or?
Yeah, I loved it. So at the time, I was working at CVS, and then a friend of mine who honestly, he was a little bit of a delinquent. He comes to me and he tells me, I got a job at the bank, man. I got a job at the bank. I'm a teller. And in my mind, I'm like, this guy got a job at the bank?
Yeah.
And I'm here working CVS and a clown every weekend like a dumbass? Like, bro. If this guy can get a job at the bank, there's no way I can't get it. So I talked to him, I'm like, what did you do? And he's like, I did a resume. And then I told my dad to put down that he was the manager for me so that when they called, he said he was an excellent employee. And I was like, can your dad say that I work for him too?
Boom, same company.
He's like, yeah, why not? The company wasn't even a legit company. This was back in the day when you had to give a paper application to the actual job. It wasn't like online everything. So I did my paper application. I put him. They called him, and luckily he bullshitted. He was an excellent employee. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The lady still made me I never forgot. She made me sell her a pen, and I sold her the pen there on the interview to be a teller. Mm-hmm. But when I got that job, and I knew I had to show up with a long sleeve shirt and a tie, which I didn't even know how to do a tie. I had to go on YouTube because my father didn't teach me how to do a tie. So when I knew that was like a big change for me. I'm like, wow, I'm a somebody. I'm not a nobody anymore. I just got to make sure I really take care of this job because this might be the best opportunity I have for opening doors for my future. So at that moment, I did everything I could. I got my diploma. And then I started really seeing like real millionaires. Like I saw millionaires coming in. I was a banker in Doral. And there was a lot of Venezuelans and Colombians in that area that were showing up with a lot of money from their country and bringing it over to the bank. So I would see millions and thousands of dollars every day. I would count cash physically with my hands. So it just changed my whole paradigm.
It opened up your eyes.
It opened up my eyes to the possibility that I'm just a little ant. And I was swallowing a drop of misery thinking everyone else is a little ant like me in this ant world. And then when I'm around all the money, I'm like, hold up a second. There's millions of people rich.
I can get this money too.
Yes, and because I started seeing them and I would have conversations with them. So I quickly became from teller. Within 6 months, they promoted me to becoming a teller manager. And within 6 months again, I got promoted to them being the guy that opens up the bank accounts for people and I had my own office.
Nice.
So within 1 year, from 18 to 19, I was already what's called a personal financial representative.
Yeah.
And I went from $9 an hour at that time to now a $40,000 salary.
Wow.
So now at a $40,000 salary, plus now I'm a clown still on the weekends. I didn't let go of that.
Still doing the clown
thing. Still doing the clown thing on the weekends. Opening up accounts. I'm building up my reputation with the clients. And then one day a client comes to me saying, Alex, I'm Venezuelan. I'm trying to get my investor's visa to come over here to the country. Do you know anyone selling a business? At the time, I had a little girlfriend. She said, you never have time for me. Every weekend you're a clown. And then during the week, you're working a job. And I thought, you know what? I like this girl. I'm going to sell this business. And like a dummy, I didn't know how to get an evaluation on the price of my business. So I figured, well, at least within the next 6 months, this business can make 10 grand in a worst case scenario. So I'm going to sell it for 10 grand. He can't say no to that. The guy said, yes, I'll take it. I showed him my book of business, all the kids that I'd done birthdays for. I gave him my bounce houses. I gave him my chairs at the time. He took it. The thing about business, too, that I learned, this is the second lesson I learned. It doesn't matter how hard you work. Someone can go over there and screw everything up because they don't know shit.
Yep.
So you can work your ass off and you could give someone your same position and they'll run it to the ground. And that's why being a banker, I learned the valuable tool. Banks, they won't give you a loan just because you bought a company that's been operating perfectly fine for 20 years. Because if you're a brand new business operator, they lend you the money based on how long you have had experience running a business. So they will lend you money if you have 2 years of working capital, like your company's producing money, or they'll lend you money if you have 2 years of showing proof that you're successful in that industry. So if you have that proof, then they'll help supply the money. But if you're a brand new buyer,
if you just bought a business right now, you walk into the bank asking for a loan, but you don't have any type of reputation, credibility within the industry, they won't give you money.
Me as a banker, I would tell people, hey, I'm sorry, we can't approve you because it's almost like you're starting a brand new business. I'll be like, what do you mean? The business has been established for 20 years. No, you are brand new to the business. The business has been established for 20 years. You are going to run the business and you have zero experience
in the industry.
So that tells us it's high risk for the bank to give you money, because there's no proof that you can manage that money or the business.
Wow.
So the banks won't even do it. So if a bank won't do it, and they're a business, they do everything for profit and loss, then I didn't think about it that well, but that was a lesson learned. When I sold him the business for 10 grand, I told him everything. I walked him through it.
You're like super excited to sell it,
I was like, man,
package
it. I looked forward. I was like, this guy's going to blow it up. And he didn't. Within a few months, it was like, this is crazy. I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. He run it to the ground. And after that, I'm like, man, what a disaster. Like,
so what's next for you? You sell the business. You're still at the bank. What happens to you right there? How do you come across network marketing?
That's a great question. So now I'm at the bank, personal banker, and my first time seeing network marketing was people that I would open up their accounts. So I was opening up about 10 personal accounts a day. That's how much traffic was coming in that bank. And every day someone would pitch me. So the first time I heard about something was Amway. Somebody came to me in the bank, hey, this and that. And I didn't know anything about Amway at the time. So I was like, oh, cool, I can make money. They're like, yes, you can make a lot of money selling this kind of stuff. You would be great, you know. That was the first thing I heard. I kind of like, I didn't have time. So I was doing the clown thing. I was doing this. So I was like, yeah, I don't have time for that. And then another guy came to me, and it was very valuable what he brought up. He told me something about life insurance. And he told me something about a company called Primerica at the time. Yeah. And that I could sell life insurance policies to people. So I was interested in that. I said, that sounds interesting. That sounds valuable. I'm curious. So I have to get an actual license. And then he sold me, if you get the license, that might help you in the bank job. So I was like, okay. I talked to my manager. I was like, hey, if I get my 215 license to sell health and life, 215 to sell health, life, and variable annuities, would that help me at the bank? Yes, but you can't have it with that company. You have to have it with the bank. Okay, cool. But if I get it with that company, can I switch it over to the bank? Yes, you can.
So you went on and did it with Primerica.
So after selling my clown business, I decided, all right, I'll join with this guy. I'll do Primerica. The first week, I knew I was good at something because I got 10 people to sign up with me that were just regular people from the bank. I didn't know what I was doing. And they were all mind blown, and I didn't know what they were shocked about. They're like, this kid's a beast. What is he doing? I didn't know. I was only 18, 19 at the time. Yeah, 19. And I didn't know what I was doing. I got 10 people to join. Then they told me to take the course. I studied. I passed it. I got my license. So they were even shocked about that too, because they were like, oh.
Boom. They're like, who is this kid out of nowhere?
Exactly.
Recruiting, finishing up the exams, passing. That's crazy.
Yeah, and I passed it. I got my license, but I knew at the end of the day that wasn't what I wanted to do. I wasn't really excited about life insurance. And I got really turned off real quick because being a young kid, if I'm trying to bring up life insurance to someone, I got to be a little older. I can't be a 19-year-old bringing up life insurance to a father of two with a mortgage and everything. And I don't even have a house.
Look at you different.
And I'm like, hey, you need life insurance. Like, who the hell are you, you know? So it was definitely a hard sale, but it was a great learning lesson. After that, I was like, no, it's not for me. I used the license. I got promoted in banking. So I at that point now, I'm moving to work for Wells Fargo. I'm making great money at that time. I'm already at around 60-something thousand a year. And now life came back at me and kind of threw me another curveball. My mom comes back to me and tells me, hey, Alex, I need you to take care of your sister. She's pregnant right now. She's 19 years old. And I need you to take care of your 14-year-old brother too, because I can't have him here living with me.
Wow.
So I'm like, what? And just like that, my sister ended up living with me in my 1-bedroom apartment, pregnant. She got a job at Target nearby. And then I had my 14-year-old brother, who I was now driving to middle school every day, helping him do homework at night, working at the bank, doing everything. It was like too much for like a 19-year-old.
Yeah.
But I did it. I don't know how the hell I did it, but I did.
Figure it out.
And now as I'm helping out my brother, helping out my sister, how my brother took his grades up, all of that. And I'm like, what am I going to do now? I got to figure out another way to make more money. This is not enough. Yeah. So I thought I was making good money at the bank, but it wasn't. And then I just said, I got to do everything I can to keep moving up in banking. And I started really loving talking and interacting with business owners. And I said, man, there's these people that they come in the bank and they leave and they're never in the actual bank. And I started looking, and there's these bankers that are called either investment bankers, where you have a Series 6 license now and you're giving financial advice to investors, or the business banker, which he would just visit companies for the bank.
Okay.
And I said, investor, I have to get another license. It's going to be a pain in the butt. And I already heard a couple people that if they give bad advice to elderly people, and then the elderly person loses money, that could be reported on your U4 form, and you can never get hired in banking again. And I witnessed 2 people where they gave a bad investment advice to an older lady, and they got banned from banking for life.
I had no idea about this.
A lot of people don't know. So I saw that, and I'm like, oh, hell no. The risk is not worth the reward. I'm not going to go that route. I'd rather just go business banking route. Yeah. I went business banking route. I got hired at that point to work at Citibank as a business banker for them. And I was here in Miami. It was great pay. I was already killing it at that time, but they gave me the worst banking center in all of Miami. They positioned me in the Citibank that a lot of people don't even know exists. It's inside the Mall of the Americas. If you're in Miami, you probably don't even know that the Mall of the Americas even exists. But it's in Flagler next to the Palmetto.
Yeah. I didn't even know there was a bank in there. I know about the mall, but didn't even know the Citibank was in there.
The bank is empty. There's not even stores that even exist there. So I went in there. I was like, oh, man, this is
what
great.
Am I doing here?
And there was no one walked in that bank. No one. And my goals were high. I had to open up 17 business accounts a month. I had to have over $700,000 in business lending money that I had to. So I'm like, how am I going to do this? And I figured it out. I was like, all right, I'm going to make friends with a bunch of CPAs. You know where I learned that from? From being a clown.
It goes back to what you said. There's always a way to multiply instead of just adding. Like, figure it out where is, the most amount of people that you can bring in.
Yeah. Exactly. Every line of work, every business, there's always a concentration of your clientele somewhere. You just got to figure out where that concentration is, where they're hanging out from. And then you got to figure out how to attack that concentration. So when I was a clown, where are my clients at? My clients are at the bakery. My clients are at daycares. My clients are parents. You just got to figure out where is your client.
Where are the people at?
Where are they at? Yeah. And then figure out a strategic way to market to that audience. So when I became a banker for a dead bank where no one's walking in, I had to figure out where are the business owners at? CPAs. The business owners have to do taxes. So business owners go visit CPAs. I'm gonna make friends with the CPAs all around this area of Flagler right now. I went on the yellowpages.com. And I said CPA zip code. And then I made it a habit to visit every CPA with cafecito and pastelito.
Let's go. Legwork. Yeah. That's what you call it. Legwork.
That's right.
Knocking doors, baby.
Yep. And I did crazy. That. I built myself what we call COI, Centers of Influence, where I can get reciprocal referrals.
Yeah.
And now I'm working not twice as hard. I'm working smart. Because now I got the guys on the street that are bankers like me doing addition 1 + 1. Let me visit the next business. Oh, he's not here. Or let me visit the source, the CPA that has 300 business clients.
Where's the concentration of the clients that you want to get in?
Get his respect, get his approval, and now he's going to talk about me to all of them without me even being there. And now I'm going to get phone calls coming in because he recommended me. Then I even thought bigger. Well, what about commercial realtors? They're actually helping them get a financing for a building. I got to be friends with those guys because I'm the money guy. I can give them the money for the building. So I started going to networking events where there were commercial realtors. I figured it out. I actually became the #1 business banker at that time for that Citibank.
Let's go.
Yeah. So the manager at the time, we're actually still friends to this day. His name is Amir. And he's now today a huge commercial banker for a large bank here in Miami called Bank United.
Okay.
We're still friends today on Facebook. As a matter of fact, he even had sent me a request to see if I would be interested in doing something at Bank United recently.
Wow.
And because of what I did, there, I did so good that at the time they wanted to then push me to South Beach to now manage a banking center that had walking traffic, so I can handle all of that plus create my own. But at the time, I went through a bad breakup again, and I decided to do a shift in my life. And I said, you know what? I'm going to aspire for more.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's time for me to move into a higher role. And Bank of America at the time had a vice president position to cover 5 banking centers for them in Miami, where I would be a commercial banker visiting business owners that made more than a specific range of annual sales.
Okay.
And then I would cater to them and visit them. I applied. I got the job.
Boom.
And at that point, I'm 23 years old. I'm
23?
23.
Okay.
6-figure. I
Wow.
have a high school diploma. Barely. It's almost like a GED slash high school. No college. But my resume was always saying pending college. Never went to college. Not that I have anything against college, but when I went to Miami-Dade.
I mean, by the time you're 23, you've learned so much. It's like, what are you going to, you know?
Yeah, but at the back of my mind, I still felt like I wasn't worthy to what society
Yeah, like the
says
standard was. Yeah.
So all my friends now, I'm 23 something, and I'm seeing them like with, you go through these stages in life. You start seeing a group of friends from when they graduate high school, when they go through prom on Instagram, when they're graduating college. You start seeing everybody getting their associate's degree around the same time. So it was around that time frame in my 20s where I'm seeing all my buddies now pulling out associates, their graduation pictures, And I'm here feeling like a freaking loser. I'm like, man, I'm working at the bank. I'm making more money than them.
And you're winning more than they are. It's use perspective.
And then here's where it hit me. I went to Miami-Dade College and I said, I want to go. I want to get my classes. When I go, they're like, okay, cool. You want to get financial aid? I show them my tax returns. And then the lady goes, mijo. She was a little...
A ti no te da un peso.
No, she didn't even say that. She told me first thing, she's like, ¿Tú tienes novia? Just like that. And I was like, in English, that means you have a girlfriend. And I'm like... I started to laugh and kind of blush because she was an old lady. So I was like, no, why? She's like, because yo tengo mi hija está de lo más linda.
Te la presento.
Yeah, I would love to present to you my
Con el billete
daughter.
que tú estás haciendo, yo quiero que tú conozcas a mi hija.
Like that. And I still didn't understand why she was telling me that. So I'm like, thank you. But I'm like, no, I'm not really looking for a girl. I'm just trying to go. She said, porque mijo, para tener tu edad y lo que tú estás, like, for your age and what you're making, I think you need a good girl, and my daughter is amazing.
It's perfect.
Just like that. And I was like, oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. But no, I'm just trying to go to
get
college.
me the classes.
Just get me the class, And she goes, bueno, unfortunately, you don't have any sort of financial aid because you didn't go through your whole thing of high school. You didn't even pass your SATs. So you have remedials to do. I didn't even know what remedials were. I was like, what is remedial? Oh, pretty much a whole class on what you went to class for in high school. So for grammar or for math. And I'm like, what? Basic math? Like multiply? Like, yeah. How much is that class? $900. I'm like, man, I can't pay $900. And they told me 3 classes. So it was like 3 times 900. And I had to pay cash up front before I even went.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, the hell with that shit, man. I can grab that money and then reinvest it back into other things that I'm doing or in myself. Like, nah. So at that point, I just made a decision. Never going to go to college again.
Boom.
But that lady put my ambition up because she made me feel like shit, like the lady that worked in the college.
She actually saw you for what you were doing at that time. It's like, yo, you're successful. Like, you're making moves. You're doing great in life. Like, why are you even here, basically? You know what I mean?
Exactly. She even told me when I left, and then I told her it was too expensive. She even told me, don't worry. You're doing good. You don't even need to worry about it. Like that.
Boom.
And when she told me that, it really hit. I'm like, she's right. Like, she was literally trying to throw
a lot of people need to understand that. It's like it all depends who you compare yourself with, because you might be doing great in life, but if you're like looking around for like, a diploma, you're like, for me, successful was a diploma, was go to school, but you didn't realize you were probably more successful than all these people.
And I didn't know because I had no one to compare myself to.
Yeah. Environment. That's why environment is so key.
It is. When you're around a bad environment, you're going to think that that's the normal.
Yep.
So, yeah, long story short, I did that. I got the job at Bank of America, by the way. I covered 5 banking centers down south. And
you crush it in the banking industry. I can't wait to hear, how do you leave that banking job into network marketing?
So that's another great question. So that's a whole nother crazy transition in my life. Now I'm at Bank of America. I'm doing great there. And a lot of people don't really know the story. I haven't really shared like the full detail on it, but I just now I'm with my wife. I met my wife now. I didn't know she was going to be my wife.
What's her name?
Her name is Giselle. So I met her right around this time right now when the Miami Heat are in the playoff finals type of time. LeBron is here playing for us. That was like my first like wow, like this is a crazy time for basketball for us here in Miami.
Yeah.
And my sister, I went through a really bad breakup. A girl that she just cheated on me, and I was like, man, I'm never gonna be with women again for like a good amount of time. And my sister, I have a younger sister. She's like 2 years younger than me. She's like, Alex, you gotta go out. You gotta meet girls. Stop being like that. I go to a bar. I met my wife there because I was one of her friends of a friend of a friend. And we all connected. I thought she was beautiful. I got her number, and I started watching Heat games with her every day. I ended up going out with her, and immediately I just knew, like, this girl is wifey material. She was going for her master's degree. She bought a house for her parents, and she was still 24 years old. So I'm like, wow, man, a lot of people at that age are not like that. So I'm like, this is finally a girl, like, at my level where I feel like I'm not trying to help lift somebody. I feel we're at par. And that's fine. I'm not trying to lift somebody. I just want someone as a go-getter with ambition. And I don't know how I got to all of this, but she helped me out. She's the one that motivated me to even buy a house. I was living in an efficiency still at the time. Because I was saving up my money. I was $700 a month, and I was making 6 figures. You know, so she's like, start saving up some of that money, and let's buy a house. I'll help you buy a house. So she recommends me to go look for a house in this neighborhood. I go. I found a house. I liked it. I put an offer down at 24 years old, $30,000 that I put down that I had saved on my own. And then I remember being short 10 grand. And then she came out of nowhere. She's like, I got you. She gave me the 10 grand. Not even expecting for me to put her on title,
crazy.
Nothing. That conversation didn't even come up. When she did that, I was like,
She's the one.
This is my wife.
She's the one.
And then I'm like, okay. So I got that. I surprised her. I put her on the title of the house. We weren't even engaged, married, nothing. So that move is probably even bigger than even getting married. And I put her on the title of the house because she came through and brought money to me when I didn't even ask her. At that point, I found out at the closing table, I had an extra 5 grand. And I grabbed the 5 grand and I bought her the engagement ring. And then when I got her the engagement ring, my bank account was left with nothing. And it was in that week that I was told that I was going to have a 2-week notice from my job at Bank of America.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's life.
Yo, bro, the cycles are crazy.
So you're in your highest high.
Boom.
And get ready, brothers, because whenever you hit your highest high and you think everything is perfect, you're going to get hit right on your feet and you're going to fall.
Boom.
But you can't be scared of falling because that's the learning that's going to come right now.
For the next level.
And you got to learn and you got to actually be appreciative of it. I've learned to appreciate failure more than success because I don't learn from success. I learn from failure. So from failure is where you're going to get tested. You're going to go through your stress, your struggle, your depression, and you're going to question everything. And that was when I did. I questioned everything. I had given everything of my life to banking.
Banking and now 2-week notice.
Yeah, and I was on a 2-week notice. And I was like, why? What did I do wrong? And the manager at the time didn't like, but I had a month of vacation. And I took the whole month off. I didn't think there would be a problem. I brought it up to her. And because I met my quarterly goals and everything, actually, I met my annual goal. My annual goal for lending was met within a quarter.
Wow. You were crushing it.
I was crushing it. But she used the fact that because I didn't then meet my...
She just didn't like you. Like, that's it. And people need to understand that when they have a job, it's like, having a job is great, but you need to understand that at any point in time, someone can snap your fingers and you, boom, 100%. You're out the window.
That never happened to me because I always thought that being an aggressive and good salesperson, that would never happen because I'm the one bringing the money to the organization. And it did.
And it still happened.
And it still happened.
You can be the one bringing most of the value to the company. If someone doesn't like you and they're in the right position, boom, snap their fingers, you're out of there.
And to make it more of a slap to my face, the manager knew that I was excited that I just bought my house and I shared it with the team in a team conference call. She knew that I got $5,000 out of the last bit of my savings and I bought her a ring with it. She knew all of that to then tell me after all of that, hey,
Alex, you're out. Is this when you come across network marketing?
Yes. That's when I was like, I'm disrespected. Just like my mother disrespected me, and that's my mother. So if my mother también, she didn't care about my future, then how was I so stupid and naive to believe that a boss or a company was going to care about my future?
Wow.
And I thought that they did because of the value that I brought. And that's when I realized that it doesn't matter the title, doesn't matter what it is. You have to always make sure you do whatever you can. Don't lose that. But don't take it for granted the power of what this country gives you. A lot of people think that coming to this country, it's all about having the American dream, which is a white house with a white picket fence, right? That's not the American dream. The American dream is owning your own corporation where you don't get taxed on it like you would get taxed in any other country. If you have a corporation in China today, 50% of your corporation is going to China. If you have a corporation in Dubai, 50% of your corporation is owned by an Emirate in Dubai, not you. And 50% of your profit goes to them. You can't own a corporation in Dubai or even in China without the government having a piece of it. And many other countries, it's the same thing. They might have amazing other benefits like healthcare and things like that, but you're going to see their tax rate for a company will be a ridiculous 30 to 40%. America allows a company to exist and grow and get money and get investors to give you money, and you could project your idea out there. America is designed for business owners. The tax laws in America are designed for business owners. When you're a W-2 employee, you can't deduct taxes. You can't fight and say,
you pay taxes first, then you spend.
Yes.
As a business owner, you spend, then you pay taxes.
Exactly. So everything is designed for the business owner. You can get loans easier for the business. You can get credit approved for the business. You can get bigger credit cards for your business.
100%.
You need to just figure out how to have a business. Even owning a house. I had to open up a corporation just for my house so that I got taxed less for my property, which people don't know about. And you put the property under a holding. But yeah, I learned a lot from that. And then at that point, that's when I said, you know what? That's the last straw for me.
It's time to build something.
Yeah. And I believe big in coincidences. I believe big in God. And I believe that everything happened the way it was supposed to, because the way I got into network marketing, I believe for a fact that some crazy, powerful alignment made that happen. And it forced me to go into that direction. It was a night where I got told that I was going to be on a 2-week, and I still didn't tell my wife that because I didn't want her to know. Because you know how women are. They get super stressed. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not going to throw that burden on her knowing that we just got the house and I just got her a ring. I just want her to be happy. So she kept telling me, hey, I want to go out with you. I want to eat at Samurai, which is a hibachi spot, kind of like a, whatever, Samurai, down in US 1. And I said, okay. The truth is, I didn't want to spend money. Like, I knew that my savings was down to nothing. If I spent an extra $50 on dinner, I knew
things were gonna be tight.
We were gonna be very tight. So I didn't want to tell her that. So I said, no, let's not go out tonight. We got into a fight. Yes, let's go out. We haven't gone out over a month. I said, okay, fine, whatever. I looked at the time on my phone. I'm like, oh, they close at 10 o'clock at night. So I go, okay, I'm gonna keep stalling and arguing with her to like 9:45, and then I'll leave the house. So by the time I get there, like at 10:15, they're gonna be like, get out of here. And then I'll save myself from having to buy dinner or explaining to her the whole situation. I did exactly that. I get there. There's only one car in the parking lot. So I go confidently to the door, not even looking at my phone or the time, acting like I knew anything. And when I get there,
it's closed.
The door was open. The door opens wide open. And I'm like, fuck.
Here goes $50.
And then confidently, there was a little Asian lady right there in the front desk. And I go, hey, I'm so sorry, but it looks like you guys are closed, right? And she goes, oh, no, perfect. Come on in.
Let's have dinner.
Let's have dinner. Exactly. I was like, we have actually another couple here that got in late just like you, and they're waiting there on the table. So we'll just sit you with them, okay? How does that sound? And I go, okay, let's do that. Perfect. So I sit down with her, and I saw this guy there. He had like a fitted hat, bunch of tattoos, and another girl. And I just saw them like this huge ring with like diamonds in it, a huge gold chain. I'm like, this guy's like a drug dealer, or he just made it, and maybe he's just a little bit flashy. I didn't know. My energy is really down too because I'm getting fired. I normally like to network a lot when I go to like places like that, like a hibachi table where you're sitting next to someone. But that night, I didn't want to talk to nobody. And my wife doesn't know anything, so she's like, hey, I'm gonna sit here next on this side so you could talk to the people. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I didn't want to talk, and then they started to talk to me. Hey, what do you do? This and that. I told them I was a banker, confidently, not even letting them know I'm getting fired. And then they go and tell me, oh, nice, blah, blah, blah. This is what we do. And that was my first exposure. They told me something around the lines like, hey, we're in this travel club thing where we get people to join this travel club. We get paid for
marketing. Boom.
And we travel for free. And I didn't know. And then he tells me, come over to my house. I want you to come over. I'll show you a little bit about my business if you want to know more. But what really made me know that he was real is that when I'm leaving the restaurant, the only car that was there at the restaurant was his, and it was this huge white Range Rover. So I'm like, this guy has money. He has a brand new Range Rover.
Something he's doing right.
he's doing something right. So I have to follow. At that moment, that night when I got in the car, that's when I confessed to my wife and I told her, hey, I'm getting fired. Or it's about to happen. I got to be smart about this. Let me just figure out what this guy got going on. Let's go to his house tomorrow. If it's worthwhile, let's do it. Let's give it everything we got. And maybe I'll make something out of it. Like, I told her, I was like, if you think that guy's smarter than me, like, you're mistaken. Like, whatever that guy did, I can do that 2 times. Because I know I'm smarter than that guy. I told my wife that. So I was like, let's go over there. So we went. I went to his house. His house was nice. Looked like he had money for sure. And that's when he pulled out a little laptop.
Boom.
And he starts doing this little presentation.
Let me break down what this is about. You bring in 1, bring in 2, boom, 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 boom.
I didn't even know any of that shit. And I was like, oh, okay, so if I get 4 people, I don't got to pay money. And if I get this many people, then I get this much. All right, let's do this. I'll try it out. What do you want me to do? I want you to invite as many people as you can to your house. And I'm going to show up there and help you present it. And when he told me that, I was like, oh, no. I'm a banker, man. Like, I have my long sleeve shirt and suits. My friends are realtors. My friends are accountants. I can't have you come over there, bro. You're going to scare them off. Let me present it on my own. Mind you, at the time, I had no idea, but that's not something that most people do in network marketing.
Yeah, no.
So as I got deeper to network marketing, I started realizing that no one really does that. No one wants to do their own presentation, their own meeting, because no one really takes their business on a hands-on level. They expect people to guide them because we're so ingrained with a 9-to-5 mentality.
Yep.
That all your
100%.
life you go to school, you pass the paper down the road so you could pass the burger down the road eventually. You get your resume. Your resume is kind of like the lease that you see at the car, right?
Yep.
You got leather, you got all these things, right? You got to sell yourself. And that was the same shit. Like I was like, man, like.
So you invited the people over and you did the presentation.
I invited the people over. I remember he told me whatever number that you invite, half of that number is gonna show up. So I said, well, how many people do I need to get at least 4 people to join so I don't pay nothing? He's like, well, out of every 10 people that do see the meeting, on average, maybe 4 to 3 will join. So if you can get 10 people to be at your house, you'll probably meet that goal of getting 4 to sign up and you don't pay nothing. So I said, okay, if I need 10 to show up, then that means I need to invite 20. I got 20
numbers game. Here we go.
Show up. Yep. And I did that. I went crazy. He only gave me a 24-hour notice.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, cool. It was Sunday night. I'll see you tomorrow at your house, Monday. I'm like, tomorrow? And he's like, yeah, tomorrow. Are you serious? Do you want to make money fast or you want to make money slow? And when he told me that, I was like, I need to make money super fucking fast. So he's like, so why are you bothered that I'm telling you tomorrow? What's up?
Boom.
And then I go, you're fucking right, bro.
Let's go. Let's move. Homie, man.
That same night, I started going crazy, texting people, man, I got this millionaire. I didn't even know he was a millionaire. I just said that. I got this millionaire coming around.
Yeah.
And I invited. I did what they told you not to do. I had a little pizza. I had cookies. I did
the whole thing.
And 20 people actually, well, not 20, 10 people did show up. Out of the 10 people that showed up, I did the whole meeting by myself. The guy showed up at the end. Nobody signed up. So I was like, damn. And then it hit me like, can I do this? Can I not do this?
Yeah. The self-doubt kicks in.
And then my wife comes in with the next like uppercut. I think we should just not do this shit. This is not for us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? You really think so? She's like, yeah. I was like, look, I'm going to try one more day. I did this with my credit card. If this shit's a scam, I'm going to call them and just cancel my credit card. But I got 1 entire month before that happens. And then she's like, okay, whatever. The 10 other people that didn't make it the first day, I then told them, come back tomorrow.
Another event.
And then only 5 showed up. Those 5, I got one person convinced all by myself to do it and throw his credit card down and sign up. That one person was like that first real client that paid me when I was a clown. That's how it felt.
Wow.
That first.
Yeah. It's like, here's a little, there's the hope.
And that's all I needed.
That this could work.
I just needed proof that I can make money like this. And when I saw that person convinced like me, I said, okay, I'm not crazy. I'm not the only guy that sees that this can work. There's another guy crazy like me.
Boom.
So there's another guy crazy like me.
Let's go. Let's run.
There's other crazy people out there. I just got to keep filtering through and I'll find other crazy people like me. It's just a numbers game.
Boom.
So I said, all right, there's still another 5 people that have sold me out twice. So I'm going to just follow up with those 5. And out of the 5, I only got 2 to meet up.
Boom.
And then the other 3, I just went to them. And within the first week, I had 6 people. Within the first 2 weeks, the 6 turned into 30 people.
Let's go.
Within the first month, it was already 90 people. Within the first 90 days, it was 300 people.
Wow.
It got so crazy.
How many people were you, like, what was your team volume? And what, like, at a peak?
At the peak in that company was 5,100 people. That was the first company I ever did in network marketing. 5,100 people. No handout. no spillover.
Yeah.
If you know what network marketing is, spillover means when somebody that put you in the business signs up other people below you to make you making commissions easier. I had no one falling under in my team. Everybody that came into my team came through me.
Wow.
And
5,000 people.
5,000 people.
How long did it take you to get to this point?
So 5,000 people, it took me, I hit that by the 4th year.
Insane. The consistency. When was it that you like hit your first, 6 figures, good money in network marketing? Was it on this company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
okay.
a 100K ring in that company. It was called the 100.
Yeah.
It was like a pretty cool silver ring. I got awarded. They had me even go on stage. They got me even recognized to be a trainer for the company. They trained me to become a trainer. I traveled like crazy for the company. Like I literally spent New Year's in Norway with my wife and my son. We got to see the Northern Lights. We went dog sledding out there. We went to Dubai. My honeymoon was because of the company. I went for a whole month on my honeymoon with my wife. We went, we got married, and I immediately left to Paris, Thailand, Cambodia.
Wow.
We went to Dubai too for the honeymoon. We went everywhere. So it took me maybe about 2 years to hit that. I got a job at another bank in the meantime.
Okay.
And I became a branch manager for a bank here in Miami.
Okay.
And even though I had that job, I felt like because of what happened to me in Bank of America, it was like an eye opener.
Yeah. And then you start seeing some money through network marketing. It's just like I can build my business, I can do my own stuff. So it doesn't really.
Yeah. Plus now I have a steady 100K figure job at the bank with health benefits, and then I got a business producing me a steady 100K figure too. And then I got my wife with her master's degree bringing another $80,000 home.
Yeah.
So together, collectively, as a 24-year-old couple, we're bringing home $280,000 a year. She has the master's degree. I'm paying her master's degree tuition.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy with the GED, high school diploma, So it became real. And I think the main thing what made it real for me is that I took ownership of everything. I never let anybody drop the ball. But I also made sure that everybody knew that they can level up to be a leader. I spoke into everybody. I didn't speak down to everybody. And I noticed that a lot of people, when they first started getting into this, they would speak down to people, tell people to do things. And you don't get people to do things by telling them to do things. You get people to do things by showing them what you're doing. People follow leaders based off action. They don't follow leaders based off talk. And a lot of people think that by talking a lot and having a really good game at saying things that you're going to get people to just follow you for that. People see what you do. So I said, all right, what do I got to do to get people to sign up? Activity. I got to have meetings. So if the average person is doing 1 meeting every weekend, then I'm going to do 7 meetings a week. I'm going to do 1 every night.
I love this shit. Let's go.
And then my numbers started to go. But then I said, oh, people are copying me. There are people moving fast like me because they're doing a meeting every night in New York. So I said, okay, if they're doing a meeting every night in New York, then I'm going to triple that. I'm going to do 3 meetings every day until I hit this position. And I did it every day out of my house. And I did it so much to the T that I said, I figured out I had 3 leaders that they were always with me every day. And I gave one of them even the key to my house. I didn't even know this guy. I met him, but we had such a good bond. I just knew, like, when you know, you know.
Yeah.
And I just knew, like, this guy has a heart of gold.
He's going to run.
He's going to run. I could trust this guy. Like, he can come to my house. My wife thought I was crazy. You gave this guy the key to my house? Babe, I got to go to this guy's house. He has 20 people going over there. I got to run the meeting. We have a perfectly good living room. I have a projector. I'm going to get him to throw the meeting in the house. So the 30 people that we have coming to our house, they come every night. Because I was doing a meeting in my house every night until I couldn't even fill out the living room.
That's insane.
It was the living room and kitchen packed. And then I had that guy presenting while I was presenting there. And in the meantime, I said, I got to get to a bigger audience. And I said, where is there a bigger audience? Universities, colleges.
Goes back to the same concept that you talked about on the clown business and banking tools. Like, how can I get...
all the same. Everything's the same. Everything's the same. You just got to figure out how to make it the same. So my biggest jump in network marketing was the day I entered into that college university, which is FIU down here in Miami.
Okay.
And the way that happened for me was somebody told me that, like, bro, you should talk to fraternities or sororities. And I said, that's genius. How do I do that? What should I do? I don't know anybody in a fraternity or sorority. I didn't even go to college. So like a crazy maniac, I just started going to the university every day like if I was a student with a backpack on.
Okay.
I showed up there. I started talking to kids there in the university. I finally met a fraternity member. I talked to him and I said, bro, can we sit in the lunchroom and I can show you this? I did. And then I said, man, I would love to present this to everybody in your fraternity on one of your meetings that you guys do. When can we do this? And he said, man, they're not going to let you in because they only let fraternity members show up. Oh, tell them I'm a fraternity member from years ago. How are they going to know? They're not supposed to say this, but he said, all right, let's do it.
Boom.
So he taught me a secret handshake for the fraternity members
that
they weren't supposed to teach me. And then he said, just go in there and say that you're an alumni of this fraternity.
For you to present and show them the business plan.
Yeah, they're going to do the secret handshake with you. Just do it. And then go in there and connect your computer because then they had to allow you to speak because then you can say that. If they ask you from what college, just throw a college from up north. They won't be able to verify it. All right, let's do it.
Boom.
I did that. That was my first experience of speaking in front of people where I took a shit. And I was nervous. I was nervous as hell. There was 70 rowdy-ass kids. Like, I'm talking about rowdy. Like, all these kids, testosterone to the highest level. And then...
You're like, how do I talk to these people now? How do I even pitch this business?
You know how you calm down kids that are in their 20s, that they're all having sex and drinking? Yeah. You curse at them and you scream at them. And that's how you get the respect. So when I run in there, the first thing I did, as everybody's all rowdy, because I'm in my suit, all these kids are T-shirts, I look at everybody in the room and I said, shut the fuck up! And everybody shut the fuck up right there. They didn't expect the guy to scream at them in full volume and say, shut the fuck up. The whole entire fraternity shut up and said, we're going to talk about money. Who here wants to talk and listen about money? If you do, say I. And then there, because I controlled the room, everybody, I. And I said, perfect. So if you really care about this, then shut the fuck up and listen. And by the way, I got some cafecito here for everybody. And everybody's like, because I got like these double coladas. We're in Miami. And everybody was passing it down like we're at church, right? Everybody's passing down the cup of colada, a little thing.
Yeah.
Now I got everybody like super at it out. Everybody's like, this guy's speaking our language, you know?
Boom.
I put on the projector, but I said, I can't just... And I prepared prior to that meeting. I said, I can't just go in there and present them the company because then they're going to be like, this guy's full of shit. I got to get the respect before that. So I'm going to tell them a little bit about my story and then get into it. And I did. I said, I'm not like you guys. I told them my story. I was like, I'm not like you guys. You guys have your mom and dad. You guys are blessed. You guys got a school. You got financial aid. And don't mess that up. What I'm going to show you is how to still maintain that income, still do what you're doing, but make money on the side. So you could pay your tuition and not have your parents have to worry about that for you. Or have money to party with girls or do whatever you want. I said, that's what we're going to go over. But before I do that, you guys don't know me. So I want you to know me. And I want you to know why I'm here. So I told them, I was like, I'm a high school dropout. You know, my mom didn't give a shit about me. I was a clown. I showed them pictures of when I was a clown. I've done everything in my life with my nails. And I've earned it with my nails. I said, I went from a banker as a teller to now running a bank. And I showed them pictures of me there. I was like, and now I'm doing this because I believe in this. And your friend, and then I pointed out to the guy that had me here, he's the one that brought me here. So I'm going to explain this to you guys, but I want you to respect me, respect my time. And if you have any questions, ask after. Don't interrupt me while I'm talking. If you want to interrupt me, then please, one of you guys let them know and kick them the hell out of the room. But when I did that and I had everyone's respect, it was like they had like a fear of me. At the same time, they had a respect. And because of that, no one said nothing stupid in the meeting. No one... You know, because when you're dealing with young kids, they're gonna push your button to see, you know, who you are and how far they can go. And I did that day. Half that room of 60 kids signed up that same day.
Wow.
And that same day, I hit 2 ranks in the company right there.
Let's go. And then you just kept on doing that. Boom,
I was
boom,
in
boom,
my
boom,
second
boom.
week. My second week in the company, and I did that. That's when I hit my first big rank, which was a residual income rank there, which you have to have 60 people on your team.
Yeah. What do you learn out of network marketing? You said, you grew the business over 5,000 people. What would you say is like the biggest lesson that network marketing taught you?
The biggest lesson that network marketing taught me is that everybody wants to be heard. And when you're dealing with people, network marketing is all about dealing with people. You have to deal with hundreds of people. And being a salesman for years and dealing with people as well, business owners, even more important people that they don't give a shit what you think. You better listen to them and you better give them the answers that they're looking for or you're garbage to them. They're just going to move on to someone else. So those type of people, you got to be quick and you got to be on the money. So what I learned in life is that you have to be a chameleon. You have to be a chameleon with people. Everybody has different personality characteristics. And you got to understand, but you also got to respect their personality characteristics. You can't force your personality or your characteristics on someone just because that's who you are. I've been through shit, but other people haven't. I might have a stronger attitude, but other people might not. So I can't expect someone to be as aggressive as me or to be as hungry as me because they haven't probably been through the shit that I've been through. So because of that, I have to know how to tone myself down when I'm with someone that's at that level. Well, I got to know how to tone up with different people. So there's pretty much 4 personality traits that I learned in network marketing, and most companies kind of teach these personality traits. One is people that they care about people. They are motivated to do things because it's for the good of humanity, for the good of the environment, or just for the good of you. Many women tend to be like this. Many women are very caring and nurturing for the most part. So when you go to them, the approach that I would have in network marketing would be more so on the lines of, hey, your friend really wants to make this business work for her, so she brought you along to come here. And I would use that word around, like, you want to help your friend out to be successful, or do you want to help out other people? The company also had a nonprofit segment. So I would bring up the nonprofit part to that characteristic. And how I would know? Because I would feel them out as I get in a conversation. There's other people that are driven not by helping others. They're driven by money. They're driven by brands, by designer, by cars. They're driven only by seeing if you're successful or not. Those are people that are usually pretty good in sales. They're very aggressive in nature for the most part. They don't give a shit about other people. They're about you either show me you're making it or you don't got my respect.
Yeah.
So those type of people, I had to know how to talk to them too, and I had to kind of figure out that there's another group of people that they only do things because it's for fun. So, I only get involved with this because they want to be around groups, they want to be connected, they want to be having fun, they want to be doing things for happiness. And then there's the final group, which is all about analytics. They're all about the numbers. I gotta sit down and look at how this works. I got to sit down and do my math, my 2 + 2. I want to make sure this is risky or not. I got to do a little research behind this. So there's the analytics, there's the caring, nurturing.
Okay.
There's the aggressive, money motivated. And then there is the fun party. I want to be connected. I want to be around people. I want to be seen. Those are the 4 groups. And people will join just for those 4 reasons in any company or anything that you do. So if you can find whatever you're doing and mold it to all 4, then what you got to be good at is figuring out their attribute before you start pitching whatever you got to pitch.
So which category they fall into before you do your pitch.
Or create a pitch that touches on everything so that you don't have to be thinking about who you're talking to.
That's smart.
So my pitch had everything in there, so I didn't have to worry about who I was talking to. But when I was on a one-on-one, I would feel them out before I did my pitch by having a conversation with them before I did the pitch. And a conversation is always important because you have to feel someone out. You got to let them know that you care about them. You can't just go in there and look at this, look at what I got, man. And by the way, $500, like, we're going to be rich. Like, no, people don't care about that. They didn't come to see you for that. They came to see you for you. You earn their respect and you earn their time to be there. So talk to them, get to know them, feel them out, and find out where they're at in life. Everybody makes decisions based off where they're at in life. So a lot of the times you might think that your business sucks, but you're just not talking to the right person at the right time. So you got to also understand that. And when you know in that discovery conversation where they're at in life, as a real friend should, that's when you have that right approach to bring up, well, I'm glad you mentioned that. And I didn't know that this is what was going on. I think I have something that could be a great fit for you. And then you bring it up. You brought it up now so casually that now you could even focus in on one of the 4 attributes. So if I know another person's like, yeah, but I'm just not getting to travel a lot, and you know I love to travel, then boom, I know it's the fun, happy type person, so I'm going to go that route. Oh, I love to do this, but, or I did a nonprofit event here or that.
You go the caring route.
I go that route, exactly. You figure out the route. That was one of the biggest things I learned. And then the next thing that I learned is just how to deal and work and communicate with people, how to control your temper, how to control your emotions. And that's all things that we got from how we were brought up and raised. See, a lot of us think that we're very unique, but the reality is we're not as unique as we might think we are. You're very likely, since we're here from Miami, we speak Spanish because of our environment. A lot of us do. We like cafecito because we're in this environment of cafecito here in Miami. We like the Miami Heat because that's our environment. A lot of us are probably Christian or Catholic because there's a lot of Christian or Catholic churches here, and a lot of Hispanics were brought up that way. While as opposed to if I was probably brought up somewhere in the middle of Thailand, then it's very likely that my who I would be would not be this. I would be very influenced by my Thai tradition. I would like Thai food. I would probably be a Buddhist. I would probably be because of what I was taught and how I was formed.
The environment that you were brought up in.
That environment formed me that way. So it's the same thing when you're getting really deep into sales and dealing with people. Anything revolving sales involves communication. And anything that involves communication means you need to know how to understand, communicate, and know how to control yourself. And when you're doing sales, a big thing about communication is knowing how to control your emotions, because sales is all about emotions. You're excited because you're going to make money. So you're only thinking about the money that you're going to make. So that excitement has you speaking about only the thing that excites you. So when you're talking about the money, this and that, the person doesn't even relate because they don't even know, number one, even the business you're talking about, and even less the amount of money that you're picturing in your head. They just know what they know. So when you go into that, you got to figure out how to work with them. And that's one of my biggest takeaways is controlling emotions, controlling anger, controlling yourself when you get disrespected, and get used to it, man. If you're trying to make money in this hard knock world of life, you're gonna get disrespected up and down.
Yeah. They're gonna close doors in your face day in, day out.
If I got a door closed on my face, I'll be happy, man. I've gotten cursed at. I've gotten told I'm
everything.
Everything in the book you can think of. I've even got everything you can think of, man. And
yeah, it's crazy because it's what you said. Going through all these failures is what gets you to actually grow and now have all the experience that you have. And I got a lot of value out of that. I was taking some notes, so pretty excited that people get to see, that type of experience and value. I mean, you grew a team to over 5,000 people. Like, there's gotta be something that you were doing right? So, network marketing, you're in this industry. Now you're doing sales, right? We're talking a little bit about this. Mm-hmm. And I can feel it. You love sales. I can see it. You love the process. You love talking to people. You love to be involved with people.
I'll chime in there. I don't love sales. I just love talking about things that I love talking about. So if you love talking about what we're doing right now, podcast, you're not really selling, but you are selling, right? So if I love a movie and I really love how the movie ended, I'm going to talk about that to all my friends, not knowing I'm selling people the movie ticket right there. So if I love the cruise ship that I just came from and I posted a bunch of pictures, I don't know it, but I'm selling that cruise ship right there. So I don't love sales because I don't love selling people on shit that doesn't have value. I love talking about things that have value, that are perceived values to me. And I love sharing that value to someone that will change their life some way or shape or form.
Boom. Dan Graciosi talks about this. I don't know if you have heard some of his content, but he's like, he has a story that he talks about his wife. And he's like, no, my wife told me she doesn't love selling. Like, she doesn't sell anything. And then one day, he talks about how she convinced him to go to a restaurant that was like 2 hours drive from an Italian restaurant because they had this pasta, boom, 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 the whole thing. When they got there, he goes, you see, you sold me the idea of coming to this restaurant. We had to drive for 2 hours. You weren't selling. You were talking about a pasta that you loved and you enjoy, and you wanted me to enjoy that. Yep. So I feel that's kind of like your point where you're getting at. Is like, you're not really selling when you're talking about what you love. Yeah. You're literally communicating how you feel about a specific, service, product, or offer, and that's what gets you the sale. Because you genuinely care about that person being involved in whatever you got going on.
And you said something important there. When you share that feeling, that's really the whole process of sales. If you can get an energy transfer where your energy now is passed on to that person that you're speaking to, then they got it. They understand what you're talking about. You managed to pass on the excitement, but not in a way where it was the excitement you had. You got them to understand, and now they want to do it, and that's when it becomes fun. And yeah, I learned a lot. That was one of the biggest takeaways for me was how to communicate, and I tell people all the time, like, even if you tell me you don't know how to sell, you're selling me on the fact that you don't know how to sell.
Boom.
Because you're trying to convince me on how bad you suck in sales right now. So you're a salesman of how bad you suck in sales.
There you go. You're always selling. Sell or be sold. Grant Cardone. He talks about it. It's like you're either selling or you're being sold.
Even if you really think about it, down to the basics. When you go interview for a job, what do you think you're doing?
You're selling yourself.
You're selling yourself. You are a product.
Boom.
You wrote all your product qualifications on a piece of paper. You wrote the most, because that's what it is. If you have to sell yourself for an hourly rate or a salary, you have to come to the table with, well, okay.
I mean, you're selling yourself every day, whatever it is that you do. It's either the job, it's either the relationship. You're selling yourself.
Yeah.
Or, you're selling yourself every day. So.
And in business, to make money in life, you have to either sell a product, or you either sell your time, or you sell or you sell it's either product or time.
Yeah, product or time. Either you're selling something or you're selling service. Service is time.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about what you're doing right now. I want people to hear out, what's your plan, what are you working on after network marketing. I know you were helping out some business owners build sales organizations.
Yeah.
I want to learn a little bit about that. What do you got going on there?
So after that first venture with the 5,000 team in that company, I'll just kind of cut it short, but I ended up doing 2 more network marketing attempts.
Right after that.
Literally right after. Not literally right after, but that company, the first company I ever was a part of, it actually went bankrupt. It went down. It doesn't exist today anymore. That was shocking for me because, again, I felt like the rug got pulled under me.
Again, boom.
And I said, man, but at this point, I'm already like, man, I'm not scared of nothing. I'm going to do this all over again from scratch. And I did it. And then the second company that I was a part of was actually the one that I met you at, Manny.
Yeah.
And in that company, I hit a 6-figure position with no help within 3 months. I was one of the fastest people to do it with no spillover help, no nothing in Miami or South Florida. I think even in the whole nation, I think it was one of the fastest ones. It was good. I got a lot of learning experience from it. I started building in Colombia. I started building internationally. I started doing Spanish presentations because I realized that it was untapped.
Yeah.
And then that company started giving me some sort of issues, so I joined another company. I built a team within 1 year for that company of over 3,000 people that joined that team.
Wow.
Within 1 year. But the product wasn't where I was stating that it was.
Okay.
And then that was it. I talked to my wife. My wife told me that, look, if I did another network marketing company, we're going to have problems with our relationship. Now, I have 2 little kids. I already put my wife through everything, leaving late nights. She would be home with the kids. So it was a lot on her plate. I said, you know what? You're right. So she said, look, I don't care. Let's figure it out. I'm going to get another job now. She got herself a 6-figure position now. So she's like, look, I'm going to do whatever I can to kind of maintain the house, maintain the kids. Go out there and figure it out, but don't do network marketing. Figure it out. I don't give a shit if
She's like, do whatever you want, but don't do network marketing again.
So the first thing that came to me, and by the way, I went through a big depression too. I went through a big depression because I really thought that was what was going to make me a millionaire.
Yeah.
So I was like, what am I going to do? And somebody told me about a company called Vivint, which they sell home security systems and alarms. And they told me, like, man, you know that if you sell these alarms, you get like $500 or $600 for every alarm sold? Yeah. And I'm like, for real? And then they're like, yeah. And the managers that actually have a team, they make like a percentage of that too. So I'm like, oh, nice. I like that because I know how to put teams together. Yeah. So they're like, oh, no, but they won't make you a manager. You have to come experienced. You have to be a salesman. You have to have done it. I said, yeah, cool. Who's a manager in that company? Let me contact them. Oh, no, I can't connect you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, you can. Connect me with somebody. I found out later that person that was trying to be the middleman, they were just trying to be the manager to get me to put the people in under him.
Gotcha.
So when I found out he was being shady, I connected with someone else. They connected me to the right person. I spoke to the manager. I told them, what does it take for me to prove to you that I can be a manager? They told me, put 40 people in 1 month.
Oh,
we'll believe
light
you.
work. You did that, huh?
Well, the biggest team that they had for sales there was a team of 6 to 7 people was the average manager's team. So they told me that just because they knew it wasn't going to happen, and it was a bullshit number.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a little sick, so you can see me kind of like wiping my nose. But anyways, I did that within 2 weeks. So I had 40 people join and were willing to sell alarms in 2 weeks. And I'm talking about uniforms, background checks, social securities, driver's license, uniform order, iPad order, and then get them all in. And then I had to train them as well on how to sell alarms. And I've never sold alarms.
2 weeks.
But they trusted me that I could teach them how. When the guy saw that, he had nothing else to do but immediately go to higher up and request a special permission to have it done.
Boom.
Because they knew that even though I had 40 people and they didn't know shit about selling alarms, at least 5 were going to come out of that could sell alarms. And that's exactly what happened. Out of the 40 people that I put in, only 7 were top producers that were selling an alarm every other day. And that's the same thing with numbers.
It's a numbers game.
My team produced in the first month, for 2 months, we did 80 alarm sales here in Miami. Just knocking on doors in the sun. And out of everything I've done in sales in my life, I could tell you that was probably one of the most difficult things I did. Even more difficult than network marketing.
Yeah.
Because imagine going to a stranger's house.
Yeah, it's literally cold audience. Like, nobody knows you. You just got to be knocking.
I would use an app. I'll tell you the name of the app, too, for anyone that maybe gets into alarm sales.
Yeah,
I had a friend that asked me the other day for it. And the app that I use, again, secrets to everything you do, it was called Redfin.
Okay.
And I downloaded Redfin, and Redfin has these select features that you can put that narrow it down to any new homeowner within the last 2 or 3 months, or even month. So then it would pop up all the properties that just sold within a month. And then I told my team, this is how we're going to sell alarms. You are going to have this zip code. You are going to have this zip code. You are going to have this zip code. I'm going to have this zip code. And you must visit every property that just sold within the month and tell them that you were told by the realtor or somebody that the house was sold, and you're there to help them set up the alarm.
Again, going back to the same principle in every business.
Finding where the
Find how to multiply and not to add. Exactly. I got it.
You got it,
bro.
It's time and time again.
It's the same pattern in every business you build. For someone out there that is building a sales team right now, I have a friend that he's scaling his company. He's building a sales team. I'm gonna start building my sales team probably next month. What would be your advice to bring in heavy hitters? You know, do the numbers on a sales team out the bat. What's the best way to recruit?
In every company I did, I first strategized and I got my marketing material and what I was going to talk about first.
Okay.
So the first thing I did was when I decided I was going to make a move into Vivint Alarms, for example, I looked at all their material that they had on explaining compensation, on promotions, vacations, earnings, bonuses, everything that seemed exciting and incentivizing for a salesperson. I grabbed all of that and then I structured it in my own way. I created a PowerPoint. The company never had a PowerPoint. Mind you, most companies that I had been in, including even the one I'm in today, PowerPoints. You have to create it. I learned how to do PowerPoints from network marketing. I put my PowerPoints together. I put my slides together. And then I got everybody on a call. I put them on a Zoom call. And I said, guys, I have a new venture that I'm going to start doing. I trust each and every one of you that whether you like it or not, you're still going to respect my time. And you know that what I'm going to bring you is valuable. If you like it and you feel this could be a change for you, great. Text me after the call. Boom. If not, cool. I'm still glad that you still were appreciative to join me.
To join the call. Yep.
I do my PowerPoint, do my presentation. That's an element of it. But I think a lot of it comes to, and the really bottom line truth is that if you're going to build a team and you really want to take this into a career path for yourself, I think one of the biggest things that people overlap and don't really pay attention to is your own personal credibility. Credibility is a big thing that people don't know how to even improve. They don't know how to make it work. But credibility is a big unseen thing that people don't know has a big weight in anything you do.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's your word. It's the most important thing about anybody, I think, is your credibility. And what do I mean by credibility is that if everybody had like this imaginary number on the top of their head of your credibility, let me give you an example. Oprah, easily a level 10. Why do I say that? Because if Oprah right now just lands in a plane here in Miami and decides to walk out here in the middle of the street, here in the middle of Brickell, and then pop out a phone on Instagram and say, hey, I'm here in Brickell for the next 15 minutes. I promise you that her level of credibility within 15 minutes, 200 to 300 people will be right there. That's what you call a level 10 credibility. Same thing would be The Rock. Same thing would be a president. So what would be a level 1? A level 1? Someone who's in prison. Someone who probably murdered someone. Someone who's done something so heinous and bad that no one trusts them, not even their own mother. So no one is an actual level 1 when I talk to them. But that's one of the biggest things that's going to help you form is being self-aware of your level of credibility. And how can you become self-aware of that? Is by seeing who you're surrounded with on a constant basis. My grandmother, all the time in Spanish, would tell me, birds of a feather flock together. And I understood that for many other reasons. Like she would tell me like, oh, watch out with that kid. He looks like a little gangster. I think he does drugs, Alex. I don't want you around him. Why would my grandma tell me that? Because as I started growing up in life and I started going to the clubs and I started going out with my friends, I would notice little cliques, right? And you would notice the same cliques of people in high school. Even in high school, there's groups. The baseball group hangs out with the baseball group. The football team hangs out with the football. The cheerleaders, the Hispanics, everybody was in groups. And when you grow up, it's the same shit. Everybody's in groups too. So you start realizing like these groups also are by level of credibility. So if you see a bunch of little group of thugs, that's their credibility. If you see a group of hoes and then you like a girl in that group, it's very likely that you're probably talking to a hoe too because she associates with hoes.
Yep.
If you're dealing with a broke guy that's always asking for money, it's very likely all his friends are broke too, always asking for money. So it's a normal thing for him to ask you for money. So you got to be aware.
Pre-qualify who you talk to and who you hang out with.
And who you're getting advice from. And who that person's getting advice from. So if I'm, let's say, a level 5 in credibility, I don't want to be around. Most of the time, your level of credibility, you have people under your level.
Yeah.
So if you're a 5, you're probably surrounded by 4s. If you're an 8, you're probably surrounded by 7s. Why not flip that and try to have people at a higher scale? And that's what would teach me all the time. Like, I didn't want to have my constant conversations with someone that's pulling from me. I want my constant conversations to be around people that are doing more than me or I'm getting from them. You know, I want to fill my cup of information, but I still want to have friends that I can pour into, but not on a constant basis. And definitely not at a level where it's bad. Where it's like they're gonna come to me to try to cheat on my wife or come to me to, you know, or do drugs or things like that. I was always avoiding things like that. And that's what I really learned. And what I learned was that the power of network marketing is that they have a big influence on what you read and what you're digesting on a regular. And believe it or not, there's so many things that still influence on a regular. Like I would drive every day listening to the radio. And what's the first thing I would hear when I worked in the job? Charlemagne on Donkey of the Day, right? And what they would do is talk about who messed up for the day. And I thought about it as I'm driving to work. I'm like, this is the bullshit I'm listening to. Is somebody talking about someone else's misery? I was like, that's not something I got to program in my head. I'm going to read an audiobook while I'm driving to work. And I would read an audiobook. Just becoming self-aware of the things that you allow to program you is a big thing. But one of the biggest things that programs us is our family and it's your friends.
Environment is everything.
Environment is everything down to the T. And being aware of that is one major step. Is being aware of what's influencing you on a regular. What's become a habit in your life now on a regular? Is it smoking weed with your buddies every Saturday because you think it's cool? Great. That's going to have a compound effect to it. Everything in life has a compound effect. If you drink a glass of water every day, by the end of the year, you're going to lose weight. As opposed to if you replace that with a cup of Coke every day, you're going to gain weight. Same thing with what you read or what you intake in your mind. Your mind is an organ, just like your stomach is an organ. So whatever I'm reading in my mind is not going to go by what I eat. It's going to go by what I see and who I speak to. So I got to be careful about what the hell's going in my mind and who I'm allowing to influence that. The more you're careful about that and the more you start to become conscious of that, the more your credibility scale starts to grow. By reading books where now you can have an intellectual conversation with someone that read the book. By reading news or things about business owners and entrepreneurs. So when you're in a conversation about that with somebody, they can relate to you and they're like, oh shit, Manny knows more than what I
protect
thought.
Your energy at all costs. That you also don't want to have these people around you that are, are not adding anything. What you just said, you don't want to have these people that are not adding value. I feel relationship it has to be both ways around. So right, when it gets to a point that you're the only one adding value, eventually the balance, it tips off scale.
Yeah, and that's in everything, even with your wife or your spouse.
100%. 100%.
Looking for someone that helps. So those were honestly those are my two biggest values, and knowing to invest in yourself. No matter what business you're in, you must invest in yourself. Network marketing taught me that a lot of companies, when you get involved, they have these training events going on. Go to the training events. I don't know why people don't go. They sign up into a company, they pay
and they never go to any of these events. It's crazy.
They don't even go. Yeah, it's like
there's so much value on this and on the environments in network marketing. I keep on telling people that's the best way to start because it helps you, with self-development, sales, marketing, everything, every area of business. So right now you're helping other businesses build their sales team. Right. So
I've done it now multiple times. I built a sales team for that company, the alarm company. I did it again another year in a row. I then did it again for another completely different company, a solar company.
Okay.
I put together a team of 30 people for the solar company. I did it again for a public adjusting company. Nice. I found them people that would knock on doors for people that had insurance claims. I did it about 3 times, built teams for 3 different public adjusting companies. I figured that the same thing works for any industry. I did it for network marketing. I did it for alarms. I did it for solar.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. So today now I got a junior executive position in a role for a company where they do accounting. They outsource accounting for companies. So instead of a company having to hire a CPA to do their bookkeeping and their taxes and all of that and pay them $90,000 a year, The company I represent has 350 or so CPAs and CFOs that they contact, and then they have them work on a contract for fractional hours, and then I set them up with the company to do that. So every day I have about 5 to 6 meetings where I connect with a CEO or a CFO of a company, and I discuss with them their accounting and bookkeeping needs, and I find out how much they have, and then I connect them with one of our senior CPAs or accountants to help them out. So I'm more of a consultant for them.
Okay.
But the company that hired me, the CEO and their team, they hired me for the reason that they know my knowledge and they know what I bring to the table.
But yeah, bro, I'm excited. I'm excited to see your girl, and see what you're working on right now. What's next for you? What's next for Alex Pizzani?
That's great. It's a great question too. So right now, in my vision, what I really want to do and what I have planned out for me is I put together already. Right now, my biggest thing that I'm trying to put together is it took this many years, but I realized I'm really good at building sales teams for people, specifically for B2B markets, businesses that sell to businesses.
Okay.
I'm good for business to consumer. I'm good at any type of sales, but I figured there's a sweet spot for that if I can create a course or put something together with my knowledge on how to put a team together, but not just put a team together, how to put a sales process together. From having the team, but how to put your emails together, how to send how to do the calls, from everything from booking a meeting to closing the client. So because I know that right now my project in the next let's say few years is I'm going to launch a course for that. I already have it named. It's going to be called Elite Closer University, and that'll be something in the near future. But right now I don't want to rush that. I'm kind of like, I want to have a really good testimonial. So my goal would be, I want to dedicate the next 2 to maybe even 3 years to this company and not just do average numbers. I'm going to blow out their numbers right now. And I'm currently on track already to do that. I have like the most appointments, the most everything you can think of right now. And that's kind of like my track right now. I want to do everything I can for them. And in the meantime, I'm already consulting a couple of my friends that have businesses. And as I'm consulting and I'm helping them out, I'm doing it because they're my friends and they're already getting results for their stuff. I'm going to videotape that. I'm going to record it, have proof of what I've done now.
Bro, I feel you should already, like I tell people, so and what we're building, right? The mastermind program that I put together, there's a 7-step blueprint that I put together, right? You're in it. You're in the inner circle.
That's right.
You should take a look at that when you get a chance. So basically in these steps, there's a process, right? How you build up to get, learn the skill set, monetize it, scale it, make some money. And step number 5 is actually called high ticket product, which is where consulting comes in. And I know we talked about this, that you wanted to do the course, but I'm going to tell you straight up, there's no need for you to build more credibility. You have done the numbers for years. You have like results, proven track record. Like I'm 100% sure you package it the right way. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. But you package it the right way, people would drop $30,000, $50,000 on your hands right now just for you to kind of like draw the map.
Yeah.
So I feel a lot of people kind of like get stuck in the step to where it's like, I need to show and prove myself. I need to show and document it one more time.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. I got to tell you that. You got the track record. You got the proven results. You can build teams in the thousands. You know how to sell and you know your shit. Yeah. You package it the right way. Any business owner that knows you, respects you, and understands, like you said, your level of credibility that you're in will pay you anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000, even $100,000, just for you to map out the processes that we just talked about. I had to tell you.
You're 100% factual on it. I think for me, I'm very analytical. So I'm kind of like that person, the analytical person, where I look at the numbers and everything when I make decisions. And I'm also the person that is motivated by people winning. So that's kind of my attribute. And I move a lot in that direction. And I know that there's a saying, right? They say, don't even worry about the saying. It doesn't even matter right now. But okay, intelligence on ice, ignorance on fire. So a lot of times when people build any sort of sales thing, they can be very intelligent and want to analyze and review everything, and it slows them down. While people could be ignorant and not know nothing, but because they're running on ignorance, they're actually making sales and making money.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to be like that. Sometimes it's good to be also a little analytical. In my case, the reason why I'm trying to put a little bit of time into it is because the opportunity I have right now can actually put me in a spot where I can for once have a testimonial where I can say as a W-2 salesperson, I was able to clear over $500,000. So in my position, I have the opportunity to make over $500,000 in a W-2 form as an employee. But more importantly, I don't have a solid track record where I can actually show that I have results selling in a B2B phase.
Okay.
I have tons of evidence of everything else.
Yeah.
So I want to finally have that kind of like proof, like physical proof that I did it. And I think the best way is to show the numbers that I cleared as a W-2. There's a guy that I follow. His name is Jeremy something. He has a company called sorry, I forgot the name already. But
is it a sales? What is that? Sales?
It's a sales course. Yeah, he teaches a lot of people, and the 7th level is the name of his course.
Okay.
7th level. But this guy, I'll tell you the name of his thing.
Yeah.
Because now I gotta find them. But he kind of got me thinking about that, and I said, you know what? If I just get that one piece, Jeremy Lee Minor, that's his name.
Okay.
And he's the one that kind of had me thinking about that. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna put this together. I'm not in a rush. There's a lot of other things that are going on the back end, personal-wise, with my family and things like that. So
it definitely takes time to put it all together on one note. But I had to let you know. You know what I mean? Because I feel you don't know what the marketplace will pay you until you sell it, until you offer it, right? And I went through this myself, and I had the right person, right next to me, good friend of mine nowadays, and, mentored me for years. He believed in me. He was the one that said, yes, we can sell this and people will pay you the money because the product you have is worth the money that we asking for. You know what I mean? He was that person. If it weren't for that person that believe in the fact that, yeah, you can do this and let's do it, I would have done it. Because in my head, you know a little bit about my story, the stores, Amazon, e-commerce, all of that. Yeah. In my head, I'm like, bro, nobody's going to pay me $20,000, $30,000 for this product. Because I didn't know what I didn't know.
Of course.
But I had this person next to me that said, yeah, 30, 40, 50, yeah, 75 for one store. Because your product works, you're making people money, and the numbers add up. So why wouldn't they pay you?
Yeah.
Sometimes we need that person to be, yes, you don't need to. I did my store first because I wanted to prove to myself that it worked.
Of course.
I retired mom and dad with my store. And then I'm like, I want to prove it. Yeah. So I'm going to do it for my friends. Nice. I did it for 2-3 friends, right? For free.
Wow.
And then I'm like, yeah, they made some good money for free. And then after that, I was like, what's the next step?
Yeah.
The right person at the right time with the right message. Boom. Most of the stores that we sold at the beginning, I sold it myself. I didn't even see myself capable of doing this.
Wow.
And it was my friends that I didn't even see them with 25, 30 that said, hey, here's the money.
Wow.
I believe in you. I believe your product works. Let's work.
That's awesome.
And then it took off from there. So my point is,
yeah,
even though sometimes we don't believe in ourselves enough, we are able and capable of accomplishing what we really want.
100%.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I do believe in myself. I've gotten that opportunity. I have already a few people that have approached me as well in that sense. And like, hey, do this for me. I believe in you. I know you can.
Yeah.
And I want that. But I'm in
There's a timing for everything. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I'm not saying go sell it right now. But I'm saying, yes, I do believe, you know, you have what it takes to go do this type of deals. You know what I mean?
We'll get there. That's for sure where I'm gonna for sure be there. And if anything, we could look back at this podcast that we did here today and laugh about it where I was at today. But I know for sure that's definitely the goal that I want to get to. And I already created the company, I have the name, everything. I even have recordings already and all that. But
yeah.
I just need just a little bit more of a structure in my own sense, but
to organize it to make sense of it.
Exactly. Then I can feel confident enough that I'm gonna go out there and do what I have to do. But that's just me personally. That's one of the things. My ultimate dream, man, it's not Lambos, it's not money. My ultimate dream at the end of the day is time freedom. That's all I'm chasing. For me, time freedom to me is when I see business owners that they can go on summer when their kids don't have school and they leave for the entire summer, 3 months, and they're gone in Europe with their kids. And I see this because I have clients that's what they do. And that's my goal. My parents never spent time with me. I never did any sort of activities like karate or anything like that kids probably might have done with their parents. And everything to this day, from my son playing baseball to me being the baseball coach. I got my son in violin. Now we're putting him in jiu-jitsu soon. I got my 3-year-old now going to get into baseball. I'm super involved with their lives, which is a whole nother side thing besides business and everything.
Yeah, of course.
And I always want to be that. I want to be that full-time father that can always be involved with them. So all of my goals and everything I have aligned would be for that. Like, what can I do that gives me more time so I could be with them? And that's where I know I'm gonna be headed. I'm still fairly young, and I know I have a lot more that I can give.
Oh, we're just getting started, bro.
Exactly.
Come on.
And that's definitely that's the ultimate goal for me. So
I'm excited to see where you take this in the next couple of years. What do you put together? We'll brainstorm. We'll figure it out. Anything. I'm here like always, bro. Anything you need, anything I can help you with, but not just me, but like all the audience and the community and the team that we're putting together. Help you and figure it out how can you help us, right? Because like, bro, you got great value we got a lot of value in this podcast. I know for a fact how good you are, building teams and sales and all of that. So I'm pretty sure we can figure out a way, to come in, add some value to the community and the other way around. So I had a blast. I got to know you a lot better because there's a bunch of stuff I didn't know about you. Yeah. And that's what I like about these conversations, right? That, we get to build the relationship a little bit more. Yeah. We get to figure it out. How can we collaborate and add value to each other? And I feel, going back to what you said, everything is a relationship-based business. So if you don't build the right relationship, you won't build a business.
100%.
So, I had a blast, bro. I had a good time, a lot of value. I took some notes. At the end of every podcast, I like to ask 2 questions. Yeah. To figure it out, how can we help you and how can you help the audience? And the 2 questions are, right now, what do you have? What do you need? What do you have to add value to the people watching this video that you can help people either, build their sales team, like you said, or, with any type of mentorship? And what do you need? Is there anything that you're looking for that maybe someone watching this video could help you with?
That's a good question. I haven't really thought about what I need, but I could definitely tell you what I can give. So for anyone out there that's trying to build a sales team today, the number one thing is do a check on where your credibility is. And I would say draw a tree or something, right? Go home and draw a tree and picture yourself in that tree as a fruit. And wherever you are in your level of credibility, know that the top 10 is at the top of that tree. And that the fruit that's the best tasting is the hardest to reach. And it's the same as the people in your life that are the busiest and that are doing the most are the hardest to reach because they're the most successful ones. While the people that have all the time in the world and are free and available at any given second and have time willing to give are usually at the bottom of the tree, and that's the fruit that falls and rots. So what I would tell you is if you're trying to build a sales team, are you going after the fruit that's falling off the tree and rotting, or are you actually trying to climb the tree, get scratches from the branches, but you're going to get the best tasting fruit? My advice would be, make sure you know where you're going and be very aware of your environment. There's so many ways to improve your environment of friends. One of the easiest tips I'll give everyone is join a local BNI chapter if you have the money to do so. I'm a member of a BNI chapter here in Miami. If you don't know what BNI means, it's business networking events. And pretty much what they do is that they connect once a week. And you're around a bunch of other business professionals. I'm part of the Biscayne Connection here in Miami. Okay. We meet at the Rusty Pelican every Wednesday at 7 in the morning.
Wow, that's awesome.
And there's 70 people that show up there at 7 in the morning every Wednesday. There's owners of construction companies. There's lawyers. And I network with them. And I've made them my buddies and friends. So that would be the biggest advice for you is improve your network. Improve your credibility by reading and improving your knowledge and be very aware of who's around you so that you know where you stand and where you can improve on. That's number one. And number two, if you want to help me, I mean, I'm not really looking for help. I kind of already have figured out where I'm at in life. Okay. I'm not looking for anyone to be my customer today. I'm not at that point where I'm selling something. Okay. I think I'm right now focused on my path, which is to help this company get to where they're trying to get to. And by doing so, I'm going to have the reputation and the results that I want for where I will get to eventually in my next phase. So I'm at where I want to be, But I hope that I gave you guys something that you can take
Oh,
home
you
and
did.
can
I
use.
was taking notes, bro.
Yeah.
I was taking notes. A lot of
awesome.
the stories took me back to the network marketing times and, refresh. And I learned a lot. I got a lot of value.
Awesome.
So I thank you so much for coming. We appreciate you. And that's a wrap, bro.
Awesome, Manny.
Guys, that's Manny Talks, another one in the books. If you like the information, if you like the value that you're getting from these episodes, make sure to subscribe. We're going to drop your information down below. If you got any questions when it comes to building teams, network marketing, and all this good stuff, he's super busy right now, but I'm pretty sure you'll be ready to help out as many people as you can. So make sure to hit him up. Hit us up. Any questions you got, click the subscribe button. We'll see you in the next episode. That's Manny Talks.